In the quiet spaces between the stars, before your feet ever touched the heavy clay of this earth, a destiny was woven. You were not born of mere coincidence, nor were you cast down here as a punishment. You were chosen. You were sent. A beacon of light, designed to shatter the generational darkness, a vessel of healing meant to bind up the broken-hearted. But the world you came to save did not welcome you with open arms. Instead, they met your light with shadows, your love with cruelty, and your purpose with betrayal. They chose to mistreat you. If your soul is weary, if your heart is heavy with the weight of their rejection, listen closely. This is your sanctuary. Welcome back to Beyond Ordinary. If you are here, it is because your soul recognizes that you do not belong to the mundane, you belong to the extraordinary. If this message speaks to the quiet places in your spirit, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment sharing your journey, and subscribe to our channel. Join our collective of awakened souls so we can continue to walk this path together. Now, close your eyes, breathe, and let these words heal what the world has broken. The architecture of the chosen. To understand the pain you carry, you must first understand the blueprint of your creation. You did not arrive on this planet with a standard spirit. The chosen one is forged in fires that most souls could never endure. Your empathy is not a superficial trait, it is an ocean, vast and deep, capable of holding the sorrow of 1,000 lifetimes. You were sent here with a specific cosmic mandate, to act as a catalyst for transformation. Your very presence disrupts the stagnant waters of complacency, challenges the comfortable lies of the ego, and demands a higher vibration from everyone around you. You entered this realm with a natural inclination to give, to heal, and to protect. From your earliest days, you likely felt like an outsider looking through a window, watching a world that spoke a language you could not comprehend. While others sought power, status, and superficial connections, your soul craved truth, depth, and unconditional love. You looked at the brokenness of the people around you, your family, your friends, your community, and instead of turning away, you extended your hands. You thought, I can fix this. I can love them enough to heal their wounds. But there is a tragic irony in the mission of the chosen one. The very people who pray for rain will often curse the storm when it arrives. You were the rain they desperately needed, yet they treated you like a flood that threatened to destroy their carefully constructed illusions. They did not see your help as a gift, they saw it as a mirror, and they hated what that mirror reflected. The mirror of the unawakened. When you walk into a room carrying the light of the divine, you do not just illuminate the beauty, you expose the hidden rot. This is why they mistreated you. It was never about your shortcomings, your mistakes, or your unworthiness. It was entirely about their inability to face themselves. The unawakened soul lives in a state of perpetual sleepwalking, governed by ego, fear, and unresolved trauma. They have spent lifetimes building fortresses of denial around their pain. Then you arrive. Your purity, your honesty, and your unyielding kindness act as a silent interrogation. Without you ever saying a word, your mere existence asks them, why are you living in darkness? Why do you choose malice over love? Why do you settle for the crumbs of the ego when the banquet of the spirit is available to you? Because they cannot answer these questions, and because the pain of self-reflection is too agonizing for them to bear, they turn their anger outward. They project their shadow self onto you. If they are insecure,
they will call you arrogant. If they are chaotic, they will accuse you of causing drama. If they are selfish, they will manipulate you into believing that you are the one who is demanding too much. They mistreated you because it was easier to try and break your spirit than it was to fix their own. They wanted to drag you down into the mud where they reside because your flight reminded them of their own broken wings. They needed to believe that your light was a lie, because if your light was real, it meant their darkness was a choice. The paradox of the wounded healer. Think back to the moments when you poured your soul into people who only returned your devotion with daggers. You gave them your time, your energy, your tears, and your resources. You stayed up through the darkest hours of the night to piece together their shattered lives, only for them to use those very pieces to cut you the moment they stood on their own 2 feet. You asked yourself, why? What did I do wrong? If I love them more, if I understand them deeper, if I forgive them faster, will they finally see me? Will they finally love me back?
In this wilderness, you are being deconditioned. You are being stripped of the need for validation from people who are blind. Why do you seek sight from the blind? Why do you seek direction from the lost? The isolation is a holy laboratory where your soul is being recalibrated. It is here, in the absence of their noise, their demands, and their projections, that you must learn to redirect your immense love inward. You must become the recipient of your own healing. Redefining the mission. The greatest mistake a chosen one can make is believing that their mission failed because the people did not change. You look at the destruction, the broken relationships, and the lingering pain, and you feel a sense of spiritual defeat. You think, I was sent to help, but I failed. No, beloved soul, you did not fail. You fulfilled the first phase of your purpose perfectly. Your mission was never to guarantee their salvation. Your mission was to provide the opportunity for it. You gave them a choice. You showed them what unconditional love, integrity, and divine light look like in human form. You presented them with a path toward healing. The fact that they chose to reject that path, the fact that they chose to mistreat the messenger, is their karma, not your failure. Free will is an absolute law in this universe. Even the divine will not force a soul to awaken if it prefers to sleep. They chose the darkness, and they must now live with the consequences of that choice. Your responsibility to them ended the moment they turned your help into a weapon against you. You are not a sacrificial lamb meant to be slaughtered repeatedly on the altar of their ego. You are a sovereign being of light. You were sent to help, yes, but you were never sent to be destroyed. The alchemy of pain. So, what do you do with the residual agony? What do you do with the memories of the slander, the gaslighting, and the cold-hearted betrayals? You transmute them. This is the true power of the chosen one, spiritual alchemy. You take the lead of their cruelty and turn it into the gold of wisdom. Every wound they inflicted upon you is a portal. Every tear you cried is a drop of holy water purifying your vision. Because you have experienced the depth of human darkness, your light is no longer naive. It is seasoned, fierce, and unbreakable. You can no longer be deceived by wolves in sheep's clothing, because you know the scent of the predator all too well. The mistreatment was the weight room for your spirit. It built the spiritual muscles you will need for the next phase of your destiny. You are moving into a position of true spiritual authority, and you cannot lead or protect others if you are still susceptible to the opinions and manipulations of the unawakened. They thought they were burying you in the dirt. They did not realize you were a seed. They thought they were extinguishing your flame. They were only burning away the cords of attachment that kept you bound to their lower frequency. Standing in your sovereignty.
It is time to rise from the ashes of their rejection. It is time to stop mourning the doors that closed and the people who walked away. Let them go. Let them stay in the valleys of their own making, while you ascend the mountain that has been calling your name since the beginning of time. Forgive them, not because their actions were acceptable, but because holding on to resentment keeps your soul tethered to their low vibration. Forgive them from a distance and draw a line in the sand that they can never cross again. Your boundaries are not unspiritual, they are the highest form of self-respect. Protecting your energy is a divine duty. You must realize that your light is a scarce and precious resource. It is no longer available to those who wish to consume it without honoring it. From this moment forward, you only invest your spirit where there is reciprocity, where there is respect, and where there is a mutual desire for growth. You are no longer the desperate healer begging to be seen. You are the awakened master who understands their own value. The world may have rejected you, but the cosmos recognizes you. The angels know your name. The ancestors whisper your praise in the rustling of the leaves. You have survived the worst of the human condition, and you are still here, your heart still beating with a desire to bring goodness to this realm. That is your victory. That is your glory. Thank you for staying with us until the very end of this journey. Your presence here is proof that your light could not be extinguished by the darkness of this world. Remember who you are, chosen one. You are beyond ordinary, and your story is far from over. May peace guide your steps, may wisdom guard your heart, and may you always walk in the fullness of your divine power. Until we meet again in the next space, stay blessed, stay strong, and keep shining.